Hello and welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're talking about a stock that actually had a very good day today. I'm going to find out what's going on with the stock. Is it still going to go higher than this, or there's a end of it, or is it going to go down again? And where do we see a potential here? Before I get into the stock technicals, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It keeps me motivated. The objective here is to find information on different stocks that are cheap, and we could potentially see if the stock is going to be eventually a good play. All right, so let's get to the technicals. The stock we're talking about is called Cenntro Electric Group Limited. That's again one more EV electronic vehicle company that is looking to provide vehicles for logistics. You know, all the delivery for Amazon boxes, eBay boxes, you know, all the logistics stuff, right? And they actually have delivered about 3,600. Again, it's a startup company. They have traveled about 20 plus million miles, and they have about 32 plus countries certified. That's not Europe or US or Canada. This is more like, you know, third world countries. And then you also have 16 plus countries. They have shipped their trucks, whatever, you know, it's like small vehicles for deliveries. So recently, what happened to the news? What happened to the stock? Why is it rising? The reason behind is that they recently they got an agreement with a Europe company, with a good European automotive company, that they will be buying 65% of the equity interest in Tropos Motors Europe. It's called GmbH, and that sort of gave an indication that, okay, the company is moving toward the right direction. They want to get their foot in Europe, and this will be a good opportunity for them to get in there and then start delivering their vehicles and start getting that. So that's what sort of kicked people off, because the stock was at $1.73. A lot of people, they take the mentality that, okay, if it's only $1.73 for a stock, if I get 200 shares, 300 shares, you know, that really don't bother them. And I think this is the approach that I usually take as well. If there's a company that I believe in, and the CEO of the company, he's an old timer, right? He understands business. He has received an award from US in 1992. He's a Chinese guy. So let's look at the market cap of the company. It's $594 million. They do on a week average, they were at $15, but now they were like at $1.73. They don't have a PE ratio. They don't have an EPS at this moment because they haven't really disclosed any of that. And on an average, they traded about 8 million shares, but today they traded 57 million. There are 57 million shares were bought for this company alone, right? Let's look at the institutional banks. Now, this is a startup company right now with the market situation, as you know, that with the Fed always threatening to increase the rates. There's institutional banks are not investing in startup companies. They're putting money into more stable stocks, more dividend-oriented stocks, and ETFs, and et cetera, et cetera. So they're not really putting a lot of money into these startups, but however, they do have about 0.28% ownership. They increased their position by 348,000. They sold out about 183,000 again. Big dogs, big institutional banks like Morgan Stanley, Vanguard, Bank of New York Mellon, Bank of America, Chase Bank, all these big investment firms have about 0.28% ownership in this company. All right, so let's go back to our technicals and see where I see my value here. So I see the stock actually hit hit a resistance at $2.44, 46 cents or so. And then it started dipping again, right? So a lot of people took their profit at this point, and the stock started falling, and the stock closed at around $2.27. Okay, that's what it closed at. I can see it on the top. Now, I have two supports here, right? I have a support at $1.73, right, which is there from 207, which is February 7th. I see a support at $1.75, and I see the last support, which is like the rock bottom for the stock, $1, right? So if it started falling tomorrow, and I already see that, RSI, which is the RSI is the relative strength index, which means that how much is the pressure there for the stock to. So right now the stock has already hit that peak 70, above 70. That stock is being overbought, and I have a feeling that tomorrow I don't think it's going to sustain that. Again, because because when it hit, a lot of time it's out of experience. When I see the stock hit the RSI 70, it stays there for a while, but it started coming down again. So I have a feeling the stock might start dipping again tomorrow. And if it comes down to like $2 mark, I might just get few shares for myself. Again, I'm not recommending for you to get. I'm investing in all these EVs companies a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit to get my foot in there, just like the institutional banks, because again, you never know, right? With these, how the agreement is going to go with the European, and if the European kicks out good for this company, maybe it takes few months or so, or if they do get that agreement all the way through, maybe the next stop will be US, and you never know. The stock can potentially be at a $22 or $23, and you know in no time, right? So, anyway, so the stock, if it started coming down again, I'll be picking a few shares. If it crossed that $1.72, I'm gonna pick a few shares when it hit the rock bottom at $1. So I will be definitely picking up a few shares. I'm gonna see where do I do it though, right? Because I think these stocks are long-term play. If you're a swing trader, like if you're trading on like, you know, 2-3 days, yeah, that's also good. I'm gonna do that as well. I'm not gonna diamond handed. I just hold on to it. If I see a potential, I sell it. Look at the technicals again. I'll probably make videos again on this if I feel that, you know, there's a need to make that video again. But MACD and RSI shows me that they're showing me a weakness at this point because they're already above 70. Like the RSI already overbought, and there's very hard. Like even if you go down, for example, right here, for example, we see right here, right? So RSI was above 70. The stock was really high at that point. It was at $6. It stayed there for a day or two, and then it started declining, right? So, but this one right here, I think this is because of the catalyst that came out. And at this point, people will probably be just taking profit. I feel like tomorrow it's going to dip. And again, as I said, if it started going in upward direction, maybe I'll get few and then hold it for a few, maybe a day or two, and then, you know, sell it. But at this point, I'm going to wait for it to dip. And when it goes down again, there's a support. And exponential moving average as well. That's another thing I want to talk about. The exponential moving average just shows me that the moving average is like $1.62. So this is definitely not a norm for the stock to be this high. This is definitely a news catalyst that kicked it that high. So I have a feeling that it might come down again. And if it does, I'll be definitely getting a few shares, even if it comes to like $2. If it falls below $2, of course, I'll wait for it to get to $1. But I have a feeling that it might fluctuate between $1.72 and the whatever resistance that he created just now. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Nobody can predict the future, but this is what my technicals are. But definitely a stock to watch for. Put it in your checklist, put it in your watch list. Something to keep an eye out for the stock when these, as you know, right, energy stocks right now are booming because of the oil prices. But because of the oil crisis and what we noticed, eventually the new era is going to be all EVs, right? Even by 2035, the U.S. has a regulation that they want all the states to have all above 50% EVs on the road, right? So there's aggressive regulations going on to prevent the environment from degenerating again. So, but look, for me, this is again my opinion, myself, what I'm thinking. There's another company I made a video about that's also an electronic vehicle company that I bought a few shares, so that I'm looking at and see, you know, I see a potential in that. So all these startup companies right now, not a lot of institutional banks are giving them any money because of the fact that they're a startup. And with the startups, it's like it's high risk comes with a high reward, right? So, I mean, I always put in money that I can afford to lose. So if you are looking to invest, you know, I think it does not hurt if it's a dollar share, for example, $100 worth of shares. I don't think it hurts, even if you lose that $100, which I doubt that you'll be losing that $100 on a company like EV companies right now, because there'll be some mark on that, right? I definitely feel 100% on that. I'm very optimistic about these EV companies, and look at the CEO and the company itself. And I think, again, this is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a few shares when it gets to the level what I just talked about. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. And I'll talk to you in the next video.